Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Design Hub. Today I'll be showing type scale. What is it used for? In the previous video we talked about contrast plugin, so a way of checking your colors against each other, the background against the foreground. So today I'm going to talk about type scale. Some of the time that you must have been working as a beginner, you probably have had a number of times where you don't even know which one should be, what should be your H1, like if your H1 is going to be 30 pixel or is going to be this or that. So what am I saying in essence? Let's say you have your topic or your title there, and again you want to have your subtitle. I did something there. Okay, you want to have your subtitle. Let's say you now have it like subtitle, if I can spell correctly, subtitle. Now look at this. You want to take the font size for the title to be different from the subtitle font size, and that is what type scale is all about. For instance, if you are having a 16 for your body text, that is your paragraph text, then what about your big paragraph text and things like that? This is just to separate the order of importance using typography. So how do we do that? First of all, if you don't want to use a plugin, there is a website called typescale.com, and it's exactly the same name as the plugin that I'll be showing you today. So what are we looking at here? As you can see to the right, you can see a visual type scale, which is about 48.83 pixels. From this is very different from this, right? 2.441 rem, which is 39.06 pixel. So they've actually done a little bit of calculation that makes this thing to be a little bit contrasting. Like, they've actually made some calculations to make the differences clear. So well, when you are actually typing or you are reading a text, you know what to look at first and what to look at next. So how are they doing this? Let's take a good look to the right side. We see the scale here. You can use major second. I hardly use that. Major third, this is the one I use most of the time actually. So here you can actually choose the font you actually want to use so that you can see it visually before you start using it. So most of the time I use Poppins, Montserrat and things and other ones like that. So now I'm going to actually use major third like I normally do. Now here we have base text, base size. Here we have base size, and what does that mean? This is going to be the majority of the text that is going to be read by the viewer of your site or your app. If I change this, okay, it's already on the, if I change this on perfect, can you see how different it looks? This H1 is already, in fact it's already big enough, but I don't go like that. I use a major third. Let's now say I need more. Maybe this one is still small for me. I need something bigger. You see this button here, you can just click it, a visual type scale, another one comes up, and 61 at 61.04 pixel. Most of the time I do run this off because I don't think there is anything like 0.04 pixel during development. So if you want it even smaller than this, which I believe you would not even want it to be smaller than 8p, I'm sure you won't even want to use 8 pixel. So you can still click this and it gets more tiny. Okay, so this is that about the websites. And what do you do? How do you actually do this? You can now go to your Figma. You start, maybe this is your subtitle, you set it. For instance, I just want to be, look at it here, I just want to be was it 60 like that, and I press enter. Can you see? So you can set it out the way you want to actually set it out, and things will go on smoothly. Trying to show us how to make the differences so you won't have varieties of text sizes or font sizes all over the places. which is not really good enough when you are designing products. Remember, consistency is what we are looking for. Consistency is the key. So if you have your subtitle this big, that means everywhere there is going to be any other subtitle, it has to be this big, so to say. So let's go back to Figma. Actually, I want to delete this. Okay, now I have this. How do I run this within Figma without moving up to onto another website? I can just right click, I say plugins, I come to type scale. Okay, if you have not used it before, you can just go on find more plugins. Okay, so this, where is it again? Okay, type scale, and here comes the plugin for type scale. What are we looking at? Exactly the same thing as that of the website, but it's not having a preview of the scales. Okay, so here it tells us to select the text layer to act as your base style. So I've selected this, and the base style is 16. If you look at it very well here, this is 16 pixel. So this type scale will make it that everything is being calculated will be based on that 16 pixel. And if we look down here, just like I showed us on that website, we have minor third, we have major third. So I'm going to put it on major third. I told you I like major third depending on the products though, but most of the time I use major third. And now this one, what does this one mean? This one means that if you want 6 more variation above, look at the arrow going up, so 6 more variation above that 16 pixel that you have set as your base. So this is where you set it, but I don't think I need 6 more variation above that 16 pixel. I think I need 4. Let's put 4 there. And then here says how many variations do you need more below that 16 pixel. So what am I going to put here? Let me just leave it as 2. Okay, so and again I'm going to click on this one to make it round it up to the nearest whole pixel, because I don't think when we are developing we don't used to type pixel 16.23 or something like that, so it should be rounded up. And this one, the content, I don't want to use this content. This is just the sample content that will show what is going on, like a sample text. But now since I've unticked it, it will use my own or it will change to a random text. Let's see. So what next? What do we do now? We click create type scale. So now we've created the type scale, and to the side here, we can all see it gave us this 22.441 rem, that is 39 pixel. It's already rounded it up, and it gave us 1.953 rems, which is 31 pixel, things like that. So it uses my own title, which I clicked as a base text, and we can see if you count it 1 2 3 4, that is the 4 we gave it to be above 16. It's left the space for that 16, and then 2 for that 16 pixel text, and that 2 1 2 below the 16 pixel text. So this one is 13, while this one is 10, I guess. Yeah, so this one is 10. Now if you, depending on the product or the thing or whatever you are actually designing, you can now add variation to this. This one has actually simplified your work for you. You can actually add variation to this. Let me delete that image for a second. So this, I can actually click on this. Let's say this is my excuse me, let's say this is my h1 text or header text. Sometimes I want to have a bold header text or a normal or a regular header text. I can take this one to be bold like this. I don't know, but I don't think so. So this one is the what is probably the h2 tag. Did I say tag? H2 text. And if that is the case, I can actually copy it. I think I overdubbed that. So I can actually copy it and give it bold too, and maybe I need a variation of it again, depending on the product you're designing actually. So I removed that and I made it italicized. So as that, you can actually use this. This is a template for you now. You don't need to start thinking, okay, should I make it big, should I make it this, should I make it that. This is at the beginning of your work or whatever you're going to do. So I believe I've been able to show you what TypeScale does, and their website, you can actually go to typescale.com. if you don't like using the plugin directly from here, you can use typescale.com to know or to get a visual representation of how big or how small your text needs to be. If you have a question about this plugin, you can just drop it in the comment section. I will actually try my best to do whatever I can do about it. And yeah, if you have a question about how to use this in your design system, I think there are a lot of videos on that on the internet actually. But if you have a question, you want me to specifically talk about one thing about it, please drop it and let me jump on it. From here, I will say if you have a plugin you want me to actually review or show how to use, you can just drop them in the comment section. Or if there is any video you want to see or anything about Figma you actually want to see, please drop the comments in the comment section, and I will attend to it as soon as I can. Till we see in the next video. Peace.